So we're gonna go down to campus. I'm gonna take you with me. I think I'm gonna go to the library. I love talking about writing. I really, really do. I don't know, there's just something about the magic of old books. My curiosity, I guess, at the moment of being a writer who's not writing. Hello and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Andrea. Welcome back if you're one of my lovely returning friends. It's great to have you all here. Welcome to Wednesday. This is going to be another kind of just day in my life, slightly academic focused, but also I think talking about what happens when you're a writer who's not writing, because that is where we're at right now. So it is Wednesday, September 3rd. The book has been out for 2 weeks now, just over 2 weeks. My 9th novel, by the way. I'll put the picture up here somewhere. I launched that 2 weeks ago. It was kind of off my plate as of 3 weeks ago, and I think I've written like maybe twice in the last 3 weeks. I've needed a break. I'm very creatively burned out. I think I am starting to feel like it's getting better, but we're not all the way there yet. So I've still got time. I've still got other things that are taking up space in my brain and making it very difficult to focus on writing. So this week has been another week of just being focused on teaching. This is the second full week of classes, but it's been 2 weeks as of yesterday. Yesterday was my 4th class. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So we started on a Thursday, and then last week was the first full week with a Tuesday and a Thursday, and then this is now my second week of having both a Tuesday and a Thursday. So it's my second Wednesday of just like figuring out how this feels and how I'm doing and how to manage my energy and things like that. This Wednesday, I feel like this first couple weeks I've also had a lot of unusual things that aren't going to be part of my normal schedule going forward. So the first week of classes wasn't a full week, but I also had a day of meetings on the Monday. I had the book launch on the Tuesday, and then I had the first day of classes on Thursday. So the first week of the semester was a bit wild, bit chaotic, not very normal. Then last week I've had some things. I had some meetings and some appointments that I don't normally have, and a few more than usual, which is not great. The meetings were fun. I don't regret anything, but the big thing that's stressing me out is I still have my promotion file hanging over my head. That is due on Monday, so I'm now less than a week away from that deadline. I have had clarification that end of day on Monday is fine, so it's not like a noon deadline or anything like that. I can take the whole day. I'm gonna try to get it in no later than 4 p.m. I'm hoping to have most of it done by Friday, so then I can take the weekend and then spend Monday just like doing final tweaks and then upload it hopefully by like between noon and 2 p.m. That is still very much hanging over my head and is causing more than a little bit of stress. I know I'm overthinking it, but I don't know how much I'm overthinking it, so I don't know how much less overthinking I can do to make sure that it still turns out right. I feel like I'm just gonna overthink it the whole way. It's not the final. I will meet with someone later next week who will give me feedback on it. So if something goes horribly wrong, I will be given a chance to fix it, but I'm trying to make it as strong as possible so that I'm not told that I need to add something or change something major. I'd rather it just be formatting things that I need to fix. So yeah, so this week I'm spending every spare minute that I can working on that. Today I also have one presentation and one meeting. So I've got a department meeting later today, so we're gonna go down to campus. I'm gonna take you with me. I think I'm gonna go to the library, like leave my apartment as soon as my morning thing is done and just go straight to campus, straight to the library. The meeting is on the complete opposite side of campus from where my department building is. I don't know why they scheduled it that way. We do have a shortage of classrooms available, so it's probably just a classroom availability thing. But the library is kind of halfway between where I park and where the meeting will be, so I figured it's going to be like 103 degrees on campus Fahrenheit, so let's just split the distance a little bit and take a break in the library. I'm going to bring my work laptop, do some work on the promotion file, try to get a couple hours of like good focus work done, and then go to the meeting. So yeah, it's just going to be a very academic job, like not even a whole lot of teaching work probably. I do have some grading I need to do. I don't know if I'll get there. I really want to make some progress on the portfolio, on the promotion file. But the first thing I have this morning is actually something I'm really looking forward to. I'm really excited about this. Earlier this summer, Kaelyn from the channel Kaelyn Grace Apple, a lot of you know her, asked if I would give a presentation on being a writer and like developing a writing process for Accepted Society, which I've just recently joined. That was a couple vlogs ago where I mentioned that. So I've already been like getting to know people on there, but this will be my first time like really like interacting with a large number of people in Accepted Society. Cait, who will be moderating the call, I'll try to link Kaelyn and Cait's channels in the description box, as well as the Accepted Society information and their YouTube channel. The presentation I'm giving is going to be live streamed to YouTube, so if you're not part of Accepted, you can go over to their YouTube channel. By the time this vlog goes up, it will be live, so you'll be able to catch up on what I talked about there. So that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I do need to log on very, very soon because I need to be 5 minutes early to chat with Cait, I think. But yeah, it should be a very fun day. I'm going to try to keep it fun. I'm going to try not to let myself feel too nervous about the call with Accepted Society, because I know this is a good group, so I'm looking forward to chatting with them. I'm trying not to stress about the promotion file. Like, I'm going to get a couple hours done on it today. It's all going to be fine. I still have all day Friday. All day is blocked out. And then, yeah, so I haven't been to the library in years. We'll talk about that later. So like, I'm excited about that. So I'm trying to just find things to make today exciting and focus on those and not focus on the stress and the anxiety, and then also the growing like voice in the back of my head that's telling me, you haven't written in forever, you need to start writing, you've got another book that you need to work on, I'm getting behind on those deadlines. Like, I'm trying not to listen to that voice just yet. Next week we'll try to like ease back in to writing, but this week it's just not going to happen, so I don't even need to put pressure on myself. But yeah, we can talk a little bit more about that later. So yeah, if a day of just hanging out with me sounds fun without having any particular focus in mind, then get comfy, get cozy, and I'm gonna get set up for this call and we'll see how this goes. There we go. Hi! Now I've got to move that back. I moved my exercise ball out of the way so that it wouldn't be behind me in the call, but now I need to move it back so that it's not in the background of my YouTube videos. That was amazing. That was so much fun. I love talking about writing. I really, really do. I love talking about writing. I love talking about all different kinds of writing. So yeah, I will leave the Accepted Society YouTube channel in the description box below, and you can go and watch the replay of that because it was live streamed. And yeah, that was just so much fun. There was so much fun. So we had just such a great conversation. Cait asked so many good questions, and she's just such a great moderator for these discussions. Day's off to a good start. I'm buzzing now. That's just completely made my day. So many lovely, lovely people in Accepted Society. This is not a sponsored video. I just feel like what Cait and Kaelyn have created with that community is just absolutely incredible. So expect to hear me talking about it a lot, but I am a paying member of Accepted. So far It's worth every penny. But yes, it is now 10:36. My bag is pretty much packed. I've got my work laptop and 2 of my journals that I'm using, brain dump journal and my research journal. I don't know that I'll do any work in my research journal, but who knows? I might be inspired working in the library, and I might take 15 minutes at the end of my time to just look up some sources on the library's website of things to kind of look up later. I don't want to be hauling a bunch of books around today, so I don't think I'll check out any books. I do also have a book that I have had for nearly 2 years that is technically due in October. I'm probably going to renew it, but like I should read through that book before I check out more new books. But yeah, like being part of Accepted and talking about academic writing again, it's making me, like I was saying a couple vlogs ago, I'm not ready to like start writing journal articles or conference papers. I don't want to do anything with my academic research. I just want to start doing academic research again, because I miss it. And I've now got, I feel like with the topics of writing and like some of the things that were coming up about like fear of the blank page and stuff, it's like the psychology of writing, I find I'm getting increasingly fascinated by, whether it's things that I struggle with or things that I don't struggle with anymore. Like I don't really have the fear of the blank page anymore. So like why do we have that in the first place? So yeah, if you want to hear me talk about that a little bit, go watch the replay. So let's get down to campus. I'm gonna go to Hayden Library. I haven't been to Hayden Library in several years, like probably not since I was working on my PhD. I might have walked in. I've been in the science library a couple times, but only as far as the information desk to pick up books that I've requested. But yeah, I haven't gone in and like sat in the library, in any of the libraries on campus, in I don't know how long. So it kind of felt like this meeting today was the perfect excuse. Just go down there early, split up the distance of walking across campus, stop in the library. They've renovated it. They've completely changed a lot. So this was my first time like really exploring the library. I hope I can find somewhere to sit, because I don't know what they've done to like all the study areas. I'm assuming there are more study areas, but I'm also going to try to find somewhere that isn't full of undergrads, just because that's going to feel awkward for them and for me. So yeah, I'm going to try to hunt out a quiet, somewhat isolated study space where I can hopefully work on my promotion file. Fingers crossed I don't end up with a parking spot on the roof and I end up with a nice place to work in the library. So let's see. was amazing. I'll tell you more about it later. But I definitely need to make coming down here to go to the library more of a regular thing because it was amazing. An iced latte has been acquired. They could not do decaf, so we are on full calf. We'll see how this goes. I'm currently in the shade of one of the newer buildings on campus, next to some of the older ones, and I need to find the education building. But we are coming up to my old stomping ground during my undergrad, the theater building. So that's fun. It is not quite the weather to take you on a tour. I will try to remember to link my video from Vlogmas when Tamsin and I did a little bit of a walking tour down here around campus. I showed you a lot of this area in that video when it was considerably cooler. I think this is the education building coming up. Or is it this one? I think it's this one. So yeah, I'm gonna go do my meeting. It has gotten blisteringly hot, so that is not gonna be fun walking back to my car. Stopping in the library on the way over here was definitely the thing to do. A little concerned about the walk back, but at least then I'm just going straight home and I can take a nice ice cold shower if I need. Meeting done. It's very hot. Feels like the humidity is burned off as well. It's a lot less humid. And now I get the long walk back to my car. And I'm just walking slowly because I'm waiting for one of my friends to catch up to me. He's getting his bike and then we're gonna walk and talk together probably. So I will show you campus on the way back and hope that I'm still standing by the time I get back to my car. It's not that bad. I mean, it is that bad, but I guess I'm slightly used to it. Okay, I'm home. Okay, it's been a nice day. Like, it really has. I won't lie, I didn't get as much work done on my promotion file as I had hoped, but I'm really trying to take the advice that I was giving to the accepted group this morning and that I mentioned. You can see it if you watch the replay. And I've given this advice to other friends who are working on writing projects. The time you spend thinking and working through stuff feels unproductive because you don't have words on the page to show for it. So I do think today was more productive than I realize, because even though I didn't get as many words written, and I still feel like all my promotion materials are still just scattered notes and ideas that I still need to like bring together into one coherent file, I have moved a few steps closer to that. So I'm gonna try to be good to myself about that. Worst case, I have to spend part of the weekend working on it. But yeah, it will get done. I'm just trying to hold on to that. But working in the library was amazing. I have to go back. I'm gonna have to make that a regular part of my work process, not just for academic work, but maybe even like just for creative writing. I need to go back and like really explore it and scout out a bunch of different locations that I can write in. So basically when I got there, I entered through an entrance that like it didn't used to exist. So Hayden Library has been around forever. I think it was originally built in the 60s or 70s. And then there was a newer like part of it built, the underground entrance to it just has always looked more like 90s to me. So I think there have been previous expansion projects, but it used to be you could only enter through the below ground entrance, which is how I came out this time. And then you walked underground to elevators that then took you up into the main part of the library where all the stacks are. They have completely redone the stacks. I mean, they've redone the whole thing. The like transition from one to the other is now completely different. There used to be a whole computer commons down there. They've now built other computing commons for computer labs and things like that. I feel like there's so many more classrooms in the library now on the ground level. So walking in immediately, I was like, I feel like I'm on another planet. Like, this does not look like the library I remember. So I found the elevators and I just went straight to the top floor. I thought, you know what, chances are the level of busyness gets less the higher you go, because that's how it used to always be. I think I was correct in that. I also saw something on the like menu or like the building directory that there was something called the Scholars Enclave on the 4th floor. I now have found out that's like a different selection of books, but it sounded appealing, so I thought let me just go up to the 4th floor. So went up there. A lot of people got off on level 2, level 3, so there was only one other person. There was only one other person who got off on level 4. Walked around a bit. There are a bunch of different types of seating and study areas, and a lot of them were full. But I kept walking around the perimeter of the stacks and found an empty desk. They have some desks that are like built into the wall of shelves. So I saw students working at some and I thought, oh, one of those would be kind of nice. And then I found an empty one almost at the very end. And what was really cool, because my biggest complaint about Hayden Library, about most of the libraries on campus, is, in fact, all of the libraries on campus, I think, they're all very modern. So once you've like studied or worked in a like true like beautiful historic library, like I've been fortunate enough to study and work in the Bodleian Library a couple summers, nothing else compares. Nothing else compares to studying in the Old Bod or in the Radcam. Like, nothing compares. Certainly nothing at a very like modern and contemporary campus like ASU is compared to Oxford. So the library, and like now it's super modern. Like, at least it kind of had a little bit of like vintage, like 70s era charm, and now that's gone. It's all very modern, very new. But I ended up in the, I had to look it up. It's the Saguaro collection, and I was sitting between the publisher's bindings section. So next to me was the handmade bindings. I saw these as I was walking out and like stopped to take a better look. I really want to go back and look at them in more detail. And then where I was sitting was around or in between the publisher's bindings. And this is a collection of books that features decorative publisher's bindings from the mid-19th to the early 20th century that serve as great examples of early book design. The covers and the spines were absolutely beautiful. They were just incredible. And there was one book that I was instantly drawn towards, and they had it like cover facing out. And it was like Samantha Visits the Great Exhibition or something, and there was another one of Samantha Goes to Europe. And at the bottom I noticed the author was Mrs. So-and-so, like it was the husband's name. And on the inside cover, it did have the woman's actual name, but it was just like, I'm just grateful that I live in a time when I can write my own books and publish my books under my name and not have to publish them under a husband's name. The book, I think, is from like the 1890s, so like it makes sense for the time, but we still have a long way to go. But it's things like that that show me how far we've come. So that was really interesting, but the cover of it was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I need to go back and like just explore some of these collections, I think, but also I want to go back and find specific areas that I can like sit and work, because it was just really nice. And it was not, I really did like that section, because even though everything around me was very modern, I kind of like that I could just look up and left or right and see like really vintage and antique books that just gave me a bit of that historic charm that, I don't know, there's just something about the magic of old books. And the Samantha one, it was really, really hard to read, but there had been like a handwritten inscription in pencil. It's very faded now, but something like, the last part of it was like on the event of his birthday or something. So clearly, like, the thought that like these books have been held by someone, and like someone gave it as a gift and wrote an inscription in it. It just, there's a weight to old books. There's a solidity, if that's the right word. There's substance to it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love I love ebooks, I love audiobooks, I love modern technology that makes reading so lightweight and portable and easy that you can have a whole library of books on one device. I love that. But I love physical books, and I love old books. And yeah, I was really happy to see that they had these awesome collections like on display, available for people to just come up and like look at the books and hold the books and really explore these books and get to enjoy them, and that they weren't just kept behind glass. I was being very, very careful with them, but there were no signs saying like look, don't touch, so I assumed I could pick them up and look through them. So I definitely want to go back, but once it's cooler. I don't think I'm going to go back until like October at the earliest, but I do think I want to start carving out some library time, like maybe once a month or a couple times a month. It's hard to do it on a Tuesday or Thursday when I'm teaching, because I'm just not down there. Like the timings just don't work out right. Like when I'm done teaching, I want to just come home, but going down there early is just not always that possible. But I don't know, maybe one of the holidays. I need to see like fall break if they're open or something, because I bet no one will be in there during fall break, so that might be a good time to go. But yeah, it was really good. The department meeting went fine. It was kind of fun to be over on a different part of campus, back in my old stomping grounds from my undergrad days. Just wish it was a little bit cooler. It was definitely hot. I think it was like 105 by the time I was walking back to my car. So at least I got to talk with my friends, my colleagues, and that made the walk back go by a little bit faster. And I had managed to get not just second floor parking, ground floor parking. But yeah, it was just a really nice day. But yeah, oh, the library, I definitely need to go back. Like, they've totally modernized it, and that kind of breaks my heart. I wish they leaned more into like library aesthetic instead of like modern corporate aesthetic for the library. But it does seem like they've got a lot of really good study areas and study spaces, and it was really nice to see so many students there and like working and studying and using the library. I tell my students all the time, like, go use the library. So it's great to see some students actually using it, but I still feel like I need to find a few places that are like good for me to work. Another trip is definitely in order to like explore all the levels. I went to the top thinking if I couldn't find something I would work my way back down, but then I found something on the 4th floor. So next time I think I might start at the bottom and work my way up one level at a time, and then just stay on the 4th floor probably. So if I go again, when I go again, I will take you with me. But for now, I'm gonna go get cleaned up and start to enjoy a quiet evening, because I do have to go work tomorrow. Today has not been the best Wednesday for conserving my energy in between teaching days, so tomorrow is going to be fun. I will think about that in the morning. For now, it's time to rest. Almost 7? It is 7. So I've got about 1 more hour that I can stay up and relax. But before I get too relaxed and completely forget, I figured I would get up and end the vlog. I really am a bit concerned about tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie, getting through teaching. And Friday, I also am supposed to be meeting up with a colleague who's also working on their promotion file, so we were going to meet up and just be able to talk through things. But I'm trying. I had meant to like rest more today, and then it just, when I found out the department meeting was in person and not on Zoom, the next two will be on Zoom, so that will help. But yeah, just having to go to campus an extra day in between my 2 normal days, having to walk across campus in 100-degree plus heat. And it was a bit humid, especially earlier in the day. It felt less humid as I was leaving, but it was hotter. But yeah, it just, I can feel it. I'm very, very sleepy. The problem is it's been such a great day, and like I'm still just buzzing about how amazing the call with everyone at Accepted went this morning. And then it was really exciting to go to the library, and like I'm feeling excited about going back to the library at some point once it's cooled down. I don't know, it just feels like it's been a really good day, so I just feel like my brain is still really going, so that's gonna make it a little hard possibly to fall asleep tonight. So I figured I would kind of start wrapping up the vlog so that hopefully my brain can now like shut down a bit before I go to sleep. I am like, one of the things that came up on the call was like dealing with burnout and how do I come back to writing after a break? How do I come back to writing after dealing with burnout? And that's definitely where I'm at with Across the Pond 5. Like, it is time to move on to that project, and I'm excited to move on to that project, and I've already started that project. So it's not even that I'm like nervous and apprehensive about starting a whole new project completely from scratch, because that's not the situation I'm in. I'm starting something that I'm coming back to something that I've already started. So in a lot of ways, that's taken a lot of the pressure off, because I already have a really good head start on that project. But it's been really weird. I don't know that this is the longest I've gone without working on a project. I don't feel like it is, but it's certainly the longest break I've taken in a while, because I think I took a long time off last spring. Obviously I didn't do any writing while I was, or editing, while I was in England. And then I continued to take a couple weeks or more off of Forever Love London. When I got back from England, I had, where was I at? I think I'd finished the developmental editing before the trip, and so when I came back, I had to pick up with the copy editing. So that, I took a while off from that. And so in a way then that had been a long time since working on any writing. So like, I don't think this is the longest break that I've taken, but it's been the longest break I've had in a while, in at least about a year. On the one hand, like, I miss it. I miss how it feels when I'm in the flow and in the routine of writing. And so it's why I'm not worried about not being able to get back into it. But it is a bit weird talking to my students and talking to everyone on Accepted today about like being a writer, and like I'm not actually writing anything. Like right at this moment, I'm a writer who's not writing, and that just feels a little bit weird. And it's normal, and that's what I would tell anyone else, and that's what I'm telling myself, that like this is normal. It's not that you're not a writer anymore, you're just taking a break from writing. And I know why I'm not writing at the moment. It's not any kind of block, it's not any kind of mental resistance, it's not any kind of fear. It truly is burnout. It truly absolutely is that I just do not have the capacity and would not enjoy sitting down to write. And that's something else that I was talking about in that video. But one of the things that was coming up was like, joy has become such a central part of my writing process. I'm not writing for work anymore. I'm not doing academic writing. I'm not writing a journal article where I'm up against a deadline. I'm not working on a conference paper that's up against a deadline. I'm not working on an academic book. I don't have an editor or a publisher breathing down my neck. Like, my deadlines are entirely self-imposed. And I am doing creative writing and fiction work, not academic writing. And so, like, of all the writing I can do, like, this should be fun. This should be fun. And I write as a way of having fun and joy in my life. I write as a way of escaping things that make me feel sad or make me feel anxious. You know, writing is one of the things I do to help my mental health. So it's a tricky balance, because sometimes I can slip into old behaviors and old mindsets from when I was an academic, where writing felt really high pressure. Perfectionism was another thing that came up in the call today. And that's something else that, like, I always struggle with as I near publication day. It is that feeling that the book has to be perfect, and knowing that it will never be perfect, but I've got to make it as perfect as possible. And I get really in my head. And so it takes a little bit of time for that kind of pressure to come back down, and for me to just get back to a place where writing is just fun and it's joyful. And, like, for a while, Across the Pond 5 was the fun project. I've called it that in the vlogs before, because it was the lowest pressure project. There was no deadline, there was no timeline, it was not the main priority project, and so it was the fun project. Well, now it is the priority project. Now it is the top priority of all the writing projects. It's the thing that I need to be the most consistent with and the most disciplined with. It's always a little bit of a struggle to then remind myself that just because this is the project I now need to be the most disciplined and the most consistent with, that doesn't mean I shouldn't still be having fun. And that doesn't mean that the discipline replaces the fun as the priority. So I haven't been working on it because I just haven't been in a space physically, mentally, emotionally, creatively, where I can sit down and work on that project and have fun. It has felt like either I'm pushing through the exhaustion or I'm pushing through anxiety because I'm stressed and thinking about a million other things that all need to be done. It just, that sucks all the joy out of it. And so I did work on it last Friday or 2 Fridays. I worked on it a Friday, last Friday or the Friday before. I can't remember now. And, like, it was okay, but it wasn't really that fun. I finished chapter 6, but I feel like I'm gonna have to just delete chapter 6. I feel like chapter 6 doesn't do anything. And I don't know if it's a problem with chapter 6 or if it's a problem with my mental headspace as I was writing it, but, like, I just don't feel good about chapter 6. So I will deal with that when I get to editing, but that's not how I want writing this book to feel. So I'm taking a break just for a few more days. The next vlog or the next vlog after that, like in one of these next couple of vlogs, we will get back to that project, and I will talk about, like, getting back into a writing project after taking a long break. Like, I can feel I'm getting close to being ready, and I think once the promotion file is submitted and is, like, off my plate, at least for a little bit, I will be ready to start, like, getting into my new writing routine and writing schedule for the fall semester. I think it's been too many things all at once. The semester starting, the promotion file, which is an extra project that I don't normally have at this time of year, and then the book launch. It's always an adjustment with the semester starting and, like, figuring out how my summer writing schedule is going to transition into my fall semester writing schedule. Like, that's always a process. But this year I feel like there have been extra things complicating that process this time. I'm just making it easy on myself to not have to worry about it. And that's why the vlogs have been focused on other things besides writing. But we will get back to that very soon. I can feel it. I'm ready to start writing again. I'm ready to start vlogging the writing again. Like, I'm not ready this week, but I think by next week, end of next week, next weekend at the latest. So like, bear with me with the vlogs, but I promise writing vlogs are returning. I'm starting to struggle with like, what do I vlog if I don't vlog writing? I've had a few things over this week and last week to talk about, but now it's like, I think I need to get back to writing vlogs because I don't know what else I'm going to vlog. But today has felt really good. I just feel like, kind of related to the topic a couple of vlogs ago of trying to reconnect with my academic identity, like that's going to be a long-term process, and I'll continue doing vlogs and talking about that on its own. But like today, talking about not just writing, but talking about academic writing, talking within a group of other scholars and academics and independent scholars and independent learners and lifelong learners. Like, it's what I'm loving about accepted society. It really feels like these are my people. Like, when it comes to creative writing, you all are my people, but a lot of you are also accepted society members now, so, which is great. So I just feel like this community is growing, and I don't know, like nothing's going to change drastically, but this channel did start focusing on me as an academic. I want my academic identity to, like, I am a writer, like first and foremost, but I am a writer and a scholar, and I'm a writer of multiple different types of writing. And I don't know that I'm making any sense, but like, this is just what's rattling around in my head at the moment. I just wanted to briefly, not so briefly, it's been 15 minutes, but I just wanted to talk at the end of this vlog a little bit about my curiosity, I guess, at the moment of being a writer who's not writing. I'm trying not to overthink it because, like I said, it's not the longest break I've ever taken, but it's hard when I do have the desire to write. Like, I really want to get back to this project. I've been looking forward for so long to be able to like have Across the Pond 5 be the priority project. Like, and it's finally the time. But it's been really hard just knowing I do not have the capacity to work on it. Even when I do start working on it again, hopefully next week, it's going to be baby steps. I know I can't rush headfirst into it. I don't want this break to extend for too much longer, but I also don't think I can dive straight into what eventually will become my normal writing schedule. So stay tuned, because I will be documenting all of that, because that's what we do here. With that said, I'm gonna go get back to relaxing. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. I've had such a great day. I'm really glad I could take you to the library with me. I'm glad I could go to the library, but I'm glad I could take you with me. So I hope you enjoyed seeing a bit of one of my campus libraries, because we do have several. We can maybe explore more of the libraries later this autumn when the weather cools down. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Leave me some book-related emojis for going to the library to let me know which of you lovely people have made it all the way to the end of this vlog. Our question for the vlog, other writers, I'd like to know, what is the longest you've gone in between writing? Back in my earlier days of writing, like when I was working on the early draft of A Brave Start, I would go months without writing. So this is definitely not the longest I've gone. It is one of the longer breaks I've taken since I started publishing. But let's just chat about writing and taking breaks from writing and then coming back to writing after a break. How do you ease back into writing after a break? I think that would be really interesting. If you are not a writer, you can just let me know, is there a hobby or something that you engage in that you sometimes take breaks from, and like, what is it like getting back into that after an extended break? Because I think that's really interesting to talk about. Links to all my stuff are in the description box. My books, Patreon, my email newsletter, all of that stuff is linked down below. Check it out if you are so inclined. Please and thank you. I would really appreciate it. Give the vlog a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. All of that great stuff. I would really appreciate that as well. And I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!